Because for me, first and foremost, I always consider myself like an entertainer, and a writer, So for me, this was challenging to take the gig of playing for Sublime and now writing Sublime songs as well is a huge challenge in that regard. This is a beloved, 90s property, like a lifestyle for a lot of people. So I just want people to know that at the very least, if you hate everything we did, at the very, very least, trust me, I take this very seriously. This is a band that is obviously very close to my heart familially, but even if I wasn't related to the guy and I was just a singer that got asked to do it, this is something that I take deathly serious. You can never replace the original singer of a band like Sublime, and you can never replace the original spirit. All we seek to do is tribute to that era and hopefully add to people's experiences.
But is there no part of you that really feels like your dad, like, lives within you, no? Like, do you not channel any part of this human being that, yes, you maybe didn't get a chance to know, but you've definitely come to know over time?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. I think we all do, whether we know it or not even, I mean, how many times have maybe you guys all like laughed a certain way or said a certain phrase, and then one of your relatives was like, "Oh, that's just like your mother or your father."
I catch myself sounding like my fucking dad.
Yeah, right?
All the time, and being around him, you hear it. We are those people, whether we're around them or not. It's within us.
And I had people to teach me the way. I think that's the beautiful. Whether we're living in cities or in or in caves a million years ago, like when you have people around you to carry on the torch of those lost loved ones who are no longer with us, I think a trace of them is left behind that will rub off on you and activate that person in you within your own DNA, spiritually or physically or both. Real. All my uncles carried a piece of him and shared with me, and then by proxy, I can learn what their humor was, what his humor was like, and how he would approach things. And through my grandparents, I hear stories about what he was like as a kid. So all of those things inform into me how I get to be as an entertainer, as a writer, as a performer, and as a human being. So I've come to the realization that I'm just so insanely proud to be my father's son.
I mean, like, when you say your dad created a lifestyle, it's no bullshit. Millions and millions and millions of people back 90s, 80s, whenever, they really attached themselves to this lifestyle, and they still live it today.
They do, man. Just take a step outside in San Diego and in Long Beach, in different parts of Orange County and all along the coast and all around the country and the world at large now. You can see it happening. I mean, I think he was the voice of something that was already happening, agnostic of them or their sound, and it just sort of fit hand in hand really good. Yeah.
Did you always know that one day you'd want to take this over, though? Or is this something that was kind of presented to you?
No, I never wanted to do it.
You didn't?
No. This was like sacrilege. So I'm walking like a very dangerous line that constantly sort of haunts me, but I have to temper that feeling of dread and expectation with the knowledge that, we're not curing cancer here. We're writing rock and roll music. We're playing shows. It's very important to people, and I take that part very seriously, but I try not to take myself too seriously, if that makes any sense. I have a lot of fun doing this, and it gives me an insane amount of purpose, but no, stepping into this role, I mean, it's not very often done by people in my position, because I think your whole life you're already in this shadow, and how do you eclipse that? How does a second son or a second son of a second son really distinguish themselves in a meaningful way in the face of true greatness? I have to find my own ways to be valid, I think. Because when you look back on a legend, especially one that's no longer with us, you're not going to out-mythologize the myth. You can't it's like Hercules competing against Zeus, dude. I'm not that god, He was an effortlessly incredible guitar player and singer and lyricist and entertainer. It's just, you can't beat that, you know what I mean? So I don't look at it as just something to beat. My fight is... and my struggle will be outside of all of that. My way of getting past this, impossible dichotomy, it's sort of like the finger trap. The more you pull, the more it gets tighter. I had to push inward and sort of accept who I am and where I'm at. And the more I do that, the more I do come into my own and feel myself and his presence and be like, oh, this is me. This is where I'm supposed to be. And I realize that, it's not the only thing that I'm to do. I have to do this first before I can move on and into, my own projects or my own writing or TV work or acting or whatever the hell I end up doing in the next years of my life. I have to make sure Pops is taken care of and that people recognize that Sublime is the best fucking band to ever exist and LBC is the place to be.
How did you come to that realization, though?
Well, we talked about acid. No, I'm kidding.
You've been sober for a long time.
Yeah. I'm 8.5 years sober, yeah.
Wow. You should be very proud of that.
Thank you. I am very proud of that, yeah. And I don't know. It's just sort of happened organically. Obviously, I like to talk a lot, talk people's ears off. One of my favorite joys is having late night conversations with people. And I think there was a big moment when I went to go visit the Phoenix Theater in Petaluma where Sublime played their last show. I've talked about this sort of experience before. And that in concert with a bunch of different other things just made me realize it was time to take up the mantle. I felt like the impetus was on me and it was terrifying. It was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. In fact, I've had to undergo a lot of weird, fucked up, difficult stuff through my upbringing and childhood. I'm sure it's no contest for other people have gone through worse or less worse or whatever. It's not about that. But truly getting up there on stage for Coachella and being like, this is me officially joining my dad's band was one of the hardest walks I've had to take. It's only since then been eclipsed by the walk I had to take to put down my cat creature. That was harder. It was the only silver lining of that event was I was like, well, at least I finally done something that was more difficult than that.
What made that day so difficult? Was it this idea that you were doing something that you had been steadfast against for quite some time? Was it the pressure that comes with it? Was it because really, since the second you picked up a guitar, you said that people had been telling you to join Sublime.
Yes, they have, for sure. It's a complicated mix of all those things. How am I supposed to feel? Which ways are correct to feel? There's all these people who have their opinions and they're weighing on me. I'm going to be weighed against greatness. Will I be able to stack up? Am I just fooling myself and wasting my time? Should I have done X, Y, or Z? But those trepidations don't serve you. I've made my choice. And sometimes you just have to be empty and go into the void like wind or whatever Guru Lahima says.